You ever notice that? When things get chaotic, when everyone around you is spiraling, something different happens inside of you. It's not panic, it's not a loud reaction, it's just this quiet, intense focus. If that sounds like you, then you're in exactly the right place. We're gonna break down what that's all about.
Yeah, if that quote hits home, it's probably because you've seen things, you've been through more than you let on, and you've learned a really deep truth, haven't you? That the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. Real strength is found in that stillness. And that's not by accident, it's an adaptation. For a long time, you might have worried about this quietness. Maybe you thought, am I numb? Am I broken? Am I just emotionally disconnected? But what if that's the wrong story completely? What if all those struggles you went through didn't actually break you, but instead, they rewired you for a totally different kind of strength? Okay, so let's dig into that idea, because modern psychology has this powerful new way of looking at this whole experience. It suggests that what you're feeling, it isn't a flaw, it's not a wound. It's actually what's known as a profound psychological pivot, a true evolution of your mind. And this is where we have to totally change the words we use. It's time to just throw out words like broken or damaged. Psychology gives us a new vocabulary, a much better one: rewired, post-traumatic growth, and stress inoculated. And look, these aren't just fancy terms. They represent a completely new way of understanding yourself.
So here's the absolute bottom line. Your mind didn't just endure the hard times. It actively learned from them. It literally reconfigured its own wiring to handle pressure, to see threats coming, and to operate with a level of calm that, let's be honest, the average person just can't access.
So, what does this rewiring actually look like in day-to-day life? Well, it builds a very specific set of skills. Let's break down 5 key signs of this rare strength, and you can think of it as your own personal battle-hardened toolkit.
First up in the toolkit is something called stress inoculation. Seriously, think of it like a vaccine against panic. When a crisis hits, a sudden deadline blows up at work or there's a family emergency, your brain doesn't see this overwhelming threat. It just sees a problem that needs to be solved. You don't get frantic, you get focused. And here's why that works. Your internal panic button has been recalibrated. Because you've been in high-stakes situations before, your panic threshold is just higher than most. Your nervous system has a kind of muscle memory for this stuff. It's been through worse, and it knows the drill.
The second tool you've got is hyper-awareness. This is that gut feeling you have, right? That ability to walk into a room and instantly feel the tension, or to hear a friend's voice and know something's wrong before they even say a word. You can just sense when something is off.
Now this skill, it started out as a survival mechanism, a way to predict threats and stay one step ahead. But over time, it evolved into this incredible permanent strength. It's why you can tell when someone's being fake or trying to manipulate a situation. You're just relying on instincts that are way more fine-tuned than most people ever need.
Third, there's this really powerful shift in your sense of self, what psychology calls an internal locus of control. All that really means is that your feeling of worth, your strength, it comes from the inside. You just don't need the likes, the compliments, or the outside validation to know who you are.
And that is a lesson that can only be learned the hard way. Comfort doesn't teach you that. Easy confidence doesn't teach you that. But pain does. It teaches you that you can stand on your own, because at some point you had to. And that self-reliance you have now, it's unshakable.
Fourth is something incredible called post-traumatic growth. And this goes way beyond just being resilient. This is the idea that the challenges you faced didn't just make you tougher. They actually upgraded your mental hardware. They increased your capacity for endurance, for wisdom, for everything.
And what's at the very heart of this growth? It's a huge shift from just believing to knowing. You don't hope you can survive. You know you can. Why? Because you've already done it. This isn't some theory for you. It's earned. It's been paid for. You know deep down that no matter what gets thrown at you, you can adapt and rebuild.
And the fifth and final strength is emotional regulation. And honestly, this might be the most misunderstood one of all. People see your calm, and they mistake it for coldness, but they're missing the entire point. You feel everything. In fact, you probably feel things more deeply than most.
What you've mastered is what they call the cognitive gap, that tiny, crucial pause between a feeling and a reaction. The hard times taught you that flying off the handle solves nothing. So that control you have, that blend of deep feeling and quiet composure, that's not coldness. That's a sign of incredible mental maturity.
So, when you start putting all these pieces together, a whole new identity starts to take shape. You are not a victim of your past. You were forged by it. And it's so important to get this. You are not broken.
Here's a really powerful way to picture this. I want you to imagine your mind is a ship, but it wasn't built for those calm, sunny, easy days. No, this ship was specifically constructed to handle the heaviest, nastiest storms imaginable.
Now, in calm waters, just during everyday life, that ship might feel a little heavy, maybe a bit clunky, even out of place. But the second a storm hits, the moment chaos erupts, you are the only one on that water who knows how to sail. That weight you carry, it's not a burden, it's ballast. It's the very thing that keeps you steady when everyone else is being tossed around.
So let's just get this crystal clear. You are not damaged goods. It's time to leave that label behind, for good.
You are stress tested. You've been put through trials that would absolutely break most people, and you came out the other side stronger, calmer, and more aware.
Your strength was built in silence. It was built in struggle. And because of that, you are the one who stays standing when the entire world around you starts to shake.
So now you get it. You understand where this power comes from. You know it was forged in fire. The only real question left is this. Now that you finally see it for what it is, a strength, how are you going to choose to use it?